Scorpio ritual. So today we are going to be planting our intentions, so be sure that you get a blank piece of paper. You can use a blank piece of paper and you fold it into fourths, like so. And then you're gonna want to do health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. Or if that doesn't resonate for you, maybe you've done it for about a year or so and you've decided you want to move on to new words with a different vibration. Ones that I've been connecting with in this past year have been ease, flow, connection, and expansion. And those can mean whatever, it's going to mean whatever it means to you. But you're going to want to make sure that you note a micro and a macro manifestation, or micro and macro intention in each of those quadrants of something that you are trying to manifest. So micro, as we've said before, is something that you're hoping to manifest in the next 2 weeks, and macro is something that you're hoping to manifest in the next 6 months. So this is the new moon in Scorpio. The macro manifestations that will be coming, they can come anytime, but generally those big life things that we're trying to move through or move towards will happen within 6 months of the new moon that you plant them in. So you're gonna wanna fast forward or look in your calendar 6 months ahead for the full moon in Scorpio, and that's when you can kind of start gauging your energy to prepare for whatever new experience you're hoping to manifest. So things like up-leveling your business, up-leveling your life, overhauling your health. I was just talking a little bit about, I'm a bit of a product junkie when it comes to health supplements and nutrition supplements, and just like nutrition hacks, like how can you get the most nutrients out of your food without producing like extra waste or anything like that. And that's something that doesn't happen overnight. You know, you might plant that intention, but big life changes like crowding something out of your diet or crowding something into your diet isn't going to happen in 2 weeks. It's generally like a 6 month span, and the moon is here to support us in that cycle. And so at every new moon, as you work towards that full moon of whatever, when you plant your intentions, you're moving in a 6 month frame towards that corresponding full moon. For example, we're in the Scorpio new moon. In 6 months, we're going to get to the Scorpio full moon. But as you move towards it with each new moon, you're either replanting those intentions or watering those intentions. At the full moons is when we kind of harvest and go, oh, I don't know, like let's weed this out. But yeah, if you're new to this space and you don't know what I'm talking about, go check back some of the other rituals. And if you've been here for a while, then this is not Greek to you. And you can also print, there's the PDFs that go with this that are like nice and pretty, and those are organized by the calendar so you'll know where they go. It's all very straightforward, so you can use those. So this is the Scorpio new moon, and we're going to be talking about desire mapping. So with a law of attraction and manifesting, a lot of times we can get caught up in like what we want to manifest. Do we want it instant? But there's also this energy of being willing to accept what we actually want. So a lot of times we'll say we want, let's use the lottery winner as an example. People always say, oh, when I win the lottery, I want to win the lottery. But there's this thing called the curse of the lottery, because their lottery is cursed. When people win the lottery, they have manifested their deepest desires, but then they're not able to stay current with the good that has come into their life. They're not able to manage that abundance because they haven't done the work to up level to a point that they can sustain it. Now that's not everybody, but it does happen. And that's why a lot of times you'll see people who get in these cycles of like going bankrupt and then making a lot of money, going bankrupt and making a lot of money. It's because they haven't done the work to build themselves up to a level where once they start manifesting all of their desires, they can actually keep them. And so today the ritual is, it's called desire mapping. And we're going to be talking about the green-eyed monster, which is jealousy, which can be a huge stumbling block in our road to manifesting, because two things can happen. One, you can start manifesting your wildest dreams, and then people get jealous because they're like, well, how are you able to do all this? It's not fair. And it's like, well, you're doing a lot of the inner work and they just may not be seeing that as it's happening. So that's one thing with jealousy that we're going to talk about. And the other is when we personally, while on this path of spiritual enlightenment, spiritual elevation, consciousness elevation, manifesting, we experience jealousy. And what do we do when we encounter it? And after I go through the ritual or the ceremony a little bit, I will talk to you guys about how I have turned jealousy into one of my most powerful manifesting tools. And in about a year of really dissecting my jealousy and seeing what it was that I was feeling lack about or envy for, and how I could reframe that into being grateful and thankful and joyful for whoever or whatever I was envious of, how that one tweak it's a force multiplier. Getting in front of your jealousy or behind your jealousy or putting a rein on it, whatever you want to call it, getting your jealousy in check is a total force multiplier. So without further ado, here is the ritual. Okay, Scorpio new moon, desire mapping. Using your envy triggers to chart a new life course. Want to slay your money monster and snuggle up with your new money honey to find your soul's buried treasure? There are places in this physical world like Dubai and Vietnam where large corporations are dredging the seas to gather vast amounts of sand that they then bring to shore, filter all the water from, and build upon. This is a real-life example of what I refer to as a castle built on sand mentality, where no matter how far ahead in life we get, no matter how hard we work, and no matter how much money we have in the bank or value we have in our homes, it can still feel like it could all disappear in a minute. Learning how to bring real magic into our lives is the theme this month, which if you haven't seen the Golden Ladder Divinations interview I did with Dean Radin called Real Magic, you might want to Google that or click around in the links and you'll find it. And so as we learn how to bring real magic into our life this month, as the new moon in Scorpio shows up to teach us to be ready to peer into its chamber of secrets. The magical sign illuminates where our intense and shadowy emotions, like jealousy, tend to tuck away. So we're going to peer into the darkness, embrace what is hidden, and press those lumps of coal into precious diamonds, because it's time to rise like a phoenix at this new moon, as this ritual supports us in creating a desire map straight to our soul's buried treasure by discovering our own money honey or shoring up our core beliefs about what stability really means for us. So this month, with love, light, and a kaleidoscope, we're diving into jealousy and how we can find our money honey, which is, a money honey is symbolic for abundance. It doesn't actually have to be physical money. It can be whatever brings you a sense of abundance, a sense of safety, a sense of security, a sense of peace. Money honey is a placeholder for that. And then money monster is that green-eyed jealousy thing that we want to slay. And so as we talked about in the very beginning, eliminating jealousy, or at least getting some kind of awareness around jealousy, so that when it comes up for us, we don't feel shame. We can actually use that jealousy as a trigger to manifest more of what we want in our life. And I'll just give a quick example. About a year ago, as things were really starting to manifest, like fast and furious, and people were taking notice and going like, whoa, how is that all happening? And I'm pretty unabashed about like, oh, I use the law of attraction and I've got a vision board and I'm full woo. And I'm totally okay with that. But that still could trigger some folks, their jealousy of what was manifesting in my life. And then I noticed that I would every now and then, no matter how much good was coming into my purview, I would sometimes stumble on my own jealousy of people, places, or things that were happening for other people or in other situations. I was like, well, why haven't I been able to manifest that? And it wasn't until I connected with my money honey and slayed my money monster that I realized that jealousy is just an indicator, and envy is just an indicator of somewhere that we feel lack. And if we want to shore that up, the way to get rid of that is to not think of life as an end. I think you call it a zero-sum game, where if they get this, I get this. If I get this, they get this, because that's not how the universe works. There's this really great saying in metaphysics, what the universe does for one, it can and will do for all, because we live in this unlimited, abundant universe where if we can think it and hold that energy in a positive way long enough, it will happen. Maybe not exactly how we thought it would, but it will happen. And so every time I'd get this jealousy ping, or I would notice somebody feeling that way for me, I would always try to balance that energy and say, you know, what source does for one, source does for all. And when you can redirect someone's energy in that way, and they think, well, wow, you're right. Like, you know, I'm not then special. And so if they're going to do it for that girl, well, of course they can do it for me. And then on my end, anytime I noticed something that was triggering me, I would get behind it and say, how can I put so much love and gratitude and joy for this person and what they're manifesting or what they're creating, genuine joy and excitement for them. How can I put that back into like the universe or the vortex? Because what you put out always returns to you multiplied. And I know that you know what I'm talking about because you've seen examples of this in the press, in the media, in your personal life. Energy is a boomerang and it comes back at us. And that's why we always want to put out good. And jealousy and envy is not one of those easy things that just goes away in an instant. But the more and more we can look at it as a gift that can help us reframe the way we perceive lack or scarcity and abundance, and like what the energy of the universe is, what direction the energy of the universe is flowing in our lives and others, the more we can just use it as a really great tool to create more abundance in our life and then create more abundance in other people's lives. Because when you're genuinely happy for somebody else, that is such a gift. And like, think about the last time that something really amazing happened to you and you were scared to tell anybody about it. Like, that's not a good feeling. It's a crap feeling. Nobody wants to feel like that they've achieved something and they can't share that with anybody. So what if by using your own jealousy cues and your own envy cues to reframe your perspective, you become that person in someone's life, in anyone's life, that when something good happens for them, you don't even have anything to do with it. You just cheer. You're like, yes, awesome, amen, you deserve it, good for you. I know you're the barista that I just met, but I'm really excited. That's me. But really, it can be anybody. And just to be that person in that moment, to hold that space for them, you could change their life. Now imagine if that was somebody that you shared space with all the time, and not just like the random barista who told you they got accepted into a college program and were really excited. That's happened to me. I've literally like thrown dance parties in the middle of a Starbucks or a coffee shop because somebody told me good news. And everybody's like, oh wow, is that your friend? I'm like, no, just met him, but I'm super jazzed for them. So anyways, just think of what a difference in your own life when you become that person that people can tell their good news to. And you're happy for them because you know, whoa, if the universe is doing this for all the people in my life, then like what's coming for me, right? And then people are holding that positive, uplifting space for you. And it just totally becomes this circle up space. Okay, so that is it. Thank you so much for joining me for the new moon. And I will see you at the full moon. Remember, plant your intentions. Bye.